Hey, what's going on, and welcome to Chat's Perspectives, Volume 10. This is a special one, so I will actually be doing 10 perspectives in this video because honestly, it took off to a point that I really enjoy doing these and I like sharing them. But as you saw on the thumbnail, this one is not for the kiddos, so you may not want to let them watch this one. I'll even try to monetize it, but I don't even know if the YouTube gods will allow for that. So normally this is where I would tell you what my co-star is going to do, but even she's not allowed to be here. So here's my best impression. Welcome to my dad's channel. If you're new here, hit the like and the share and don't subscribe, or I should really know this, but she just does it way better than me. But anyway, with that intro out of the way, let's get into it. So since I woke up this morning and obviously chose violence, let's start with my first perspective aimed at something that people might find a little prickly. And I'll just get it out of the way. The Chase Ritz-Carlton card, overrated. That's it. Don't argue with me. It's a cheap version of Amex's top tier Bonvoy card. It's about $100-200 between the two annual fees, and essentially the multipliers are the same. Better thing with the Amex, you get platinum status. This one you get gold, you get your travel credit. But lo and behold, all of a sudden, people don't mind, chatting in to use this travel credit and so on and so forth. But these are the same people who bitch and whine and moan about having to do anything with a gold card. I knew a lot of that was bullshit, but it is what it is. I just think the card's overrated. It's just silly, and the only thing that makes it even desirable is because people see people on YouTube getting it that may, or in some cases, they may be full of shit too, and not actually using it properly because they don't travel enough to support it. But Chase is great at making up false scarcity. This card is not commercially available, so people jump through hoops in order to get it. Big deal. It's overrated. Stupid. That's perspective one. I think you have to understand that that's probably one of the lighter ones. We're going to slide down a pretty steep slope here. So for perspective two, I'm going to settle a little debate that's going on, and frankly, it's not even a debate. It's just like the catchy thing of the day, and that is, does cent per point matter? Well, frankly, we have to kind of approach this from a real world perspective, and it's not does it matter, it's how much does it matter? So if you're going to ask the question, let's ask it correctly. How much does cent per point matter? It matters just as much as stuff per $100 bill. It matters just as much as gas per dollar bill. It matters just as much as lap dance per dollar bill. This is a question that it's literally fodder for people to just put out simple ass ideas about, because the fact is that most people use money. I don't know how else to say it. Everyone uses money. What are points? Points are a currency. So if you know how to use a $50 bill or a $100 bill, why the hell are you asking yourself how much cent per point matters? If I take a $100 bill and I ram it into a stripper's G-string, I'm expecting about $100 worth of strippery stuff to happen. If I take a $100 bill and I put it in the hand of my local grocer or butcher, I will expect at least about a sandwich bag's worth of groceries because food costs are absolutely insane. But either way, I understand that for my money, I am expecting a certain thing. What I choose to do with my money, because I could take that same $100 bill and I could buy a calculator for my daughter's math class. I could take that same $100 bill, I can donate a part of it to help someone else or donate to other worthy causes or do something constructive with it. So to ask how much cent per point matters, well, it's a stupid premise for a serious question. So as I've probably mentioned before, even if you don't do aspirational travel, being able to get from one end of the country to the other in an emergency for less than it costs really to go see a movie, that is pretty important. And it's just as important as being able to circumnavigate the globe for under $1,000 if you have enough points that you already have banked. So it's both objective and subjective at the same time, which equals pretty goddamn dumb. So now just think about it that way. if you ever want to know how much cent per point matters, it just matters as much as how much stuff can you get for $1. I mean, let's just be real here. You use money, right? The points are prepaid with dollars that you spent, right? So if you knew what you were spending before, why don't you know now? If you're asking this question looking for a serious answer, I would only really observe how much of a serious doofus you are. Use your points how you need to use your points. Make sure they fit your lifestyle and actually use them to enhance your lifestyle. If it's only by this much, that's great. If it's by this much, that's even better. But come on, let's start talking about something a little more serious. So next up, we have another popular question in the community. Actually, it's not even a question. You will actually hear a ton of videos and they will address people who are either team travel or team cashback. Now in Perspective Nines, I said I was gonna address this. There are no teams. So look, if anyone asks you, because this is a place for the discerning credit card user, if anyone asks you, which team are you? Team travel or team cashback? Here's your answer, and this is my perspective. The answer to that question is, grow the fuck up. We've already prepaid for the points. There is no travel, there is no cashback. Money's money. Just like in the last perspective, money is money. There is, you do smart stuff with your points, or there's, you do dumb stuff with your points. That's all there is to it. If you use your points to enhance your life in a way where they take the place of money that you would have had to come out of pocket for any reason that you else did not have available, those tend to be smart decisions. When you blow your points for no good reason other than they're there, well, chances are you're on team idiot. And I would venture to guess you're probably either the mascot or the team captain. That's it. You either do smart stuff with your points or you do dumb shit with your points. It's the same thing as money. Currency is currency. They're both fiat currencies, as you spend dollars that are backed by nothing but customer confidence in order to get points that are backed by nothing but customer confidence. You see where it goes there? I hope you guys are mature enough to understand that that's how it works. There ain't no teams, because even if you travel, guess what? You got to spend money when you get there. You get cash back, guess what? That's cash back off of money you've already spent. And like I said before, inflation doesn't turn off. So don't be stupid. Just get the points, use them correctly. So for our next one, I'm just gonna keep it real. Pound for pound, best no annual fee card out there all around, the Bilt card. Just stop, roll your eyes, and if you're that one asshole that keeps hitting the thumbs down on my video, now this is your cue, because you don't have to watch, you can get out of here. But the fact is that the Bilt card has such an ecosystem and a scaffolding built around it that frankly, multipliers be damned, sub be damned. You can actually participate in the ecosystem without having the actual card. It's almost like taking it for a test drive. No one else is allowing you to do that. In addition to that, you have World Elite MasterCard benefits. This is a no annual fee card that gives you the same transfer partners as Chase, which has rained down from heaven that everyone seems to worship with their stupid elevated Sapphire bonuses that everybody's talking about, even though everybody has a stupid card anyway. This card gives you all the benefits of a Sapphire Preferred. You get primary CDW, you get cell phone insurance, you get rent date double multipliers. Pound for pound for no annual fee cards. Is it a perfect card? No. But pound for pound for the no annual fee cards that give you access to transfer partners, which you otherwise have to pay with other issuers. Wait a minute, not other issuers. Actually, yeah, other issuers, because Citi's included in that too. I just normally don't talk about them because they're jerks and they won't give me a card, so I hope they go bankrupt. But the fact is that this card is a no annual fee card, pound for pound, access to transfer partners, and the things that you get from this card, in addition to the ecosystem that's built around it, just simply cannot be beat. I don't care if you disagree with me. By all means, please do so. You can cut this snippet. You know what? You can fry it up and eat it for all I care. But pound for pound, Bilt card, number one. Boom. Now this next perspective is about the future. I urge you, this is something I've done myself, learn your minimum age requirements for credit cards for your kids as authorized users. There are some carriers that will allow you literally while they're soggy and dripping wet to give them an authorized user card, whereas others you have to wait till they got, well, at least they're dried off. So this is definitely something I have for my fellow parents because I'm an older creator per se, especially in the niche that I am in. And frankly, a lot of us came up without proper preparation of having credit and what credit can do for us for our lives going forward. And to be honest with you, the business of America is business, and you can't have business without credit. There's no way you can do it. I don't care what talking head tells you to pay cash for everything. Guess what? You can barely get a job without a credit check, for God's sakes. I mean, let's use our brains here. So now what I would tell my parents, my expected parents, learn your minimum ages. This way you can make your kid an authorized user, you yourself are responsible, and literally fresh out of high school, going into college, or starting their life, whatever it may be, you can actually arm your child with enough credit to make them the envy of their peers and actually a productive member of society. For God's sakes, you owe it to them. After all, they didn't choose to be here. You're the one who made that decision. So at least do right by them. Now my next perspective. To be honest with you, I've never met a single soul who has appreciated credit more than someone who has come back from demolishing their credit. Because credit is an intangible thing that a lot of people don't really they don't have the capacity to understand how important it is until it is gone. Yes, I know that there are people who never had bad credit, yada yada yada. It doesn't make you any less of a person. Whatever. Sit on your soapbox and cry somewhere else. This ain't for you. But the thing about it is, I myself have destroyed my credit. Actually, more than once. I know other creators like the homie Sledge. Shout out to the homie Sledge. He has been there as well. When you can't get toilet paper on credit, that is something that it's like the gears stop. Like literally. Thankfully, I've never had to file for a bankruptcy, but I know people who have filed once, twice, multiple bankruptcies because credit is something that gets away from them. So for me, I have noticed that no one appreciates credit more than someone who has really hit the bottom and has not been able to do anything with it. That is how important credit is, regardless of whether people want to admit it or not, which goes in with my previous perspective on how if we are taught to respect and learn about credit at a young age, you tend to see this much less. But still, if you ever want to know how to appreciate credit, go talk to somebody who at one point had none. Now, I'm not telling anybody to run out and just ruin their credit so that they can get street cred. See the pun there? But either way, still, talk to somebody whose credit score was in the double digits. I mean, even if they get that low, I think at one point mine was seriously that low. It was just horrendous. And they will tell you that they probably forgotten more about credit than you know. I can include myself in that. I have a long-ranging credit history, and I've learned so many intricate things about credit. It's just some place, that bad place, is not a place I intend on going again. So now with this, let's go on to the YouTube category. And normally I like to end these perspectives with one YouTube perspective, but I actually have a couple of here that I'm going to grace you with. I don't trust channels without a live presence, period. If you can get in front of a camera and you can talk about what it is that you like in your respective niche, yada, 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 that's all good and great. But if you have not had any live presence by the soft monetization cap at 500 subscribers, I'm looking at you, with this suspicious cat eye here. If I do not see any live presence or live feeds from you by the time you hit hard monetization, if you are one of the talented 10th that get to that point and you still have not done any live videos, you are absolutely suspicious because chances are you're probably not as smart as you want people to think you are. So now before anybody gets offended, just take a breath. Now you can get offended because I wasn't going to walk that back. You cannot be considered an expert in your craft or your field if everything that you say is rehearsed and everything that you say is cut up, chopped up, edited, zoomed in, or what have you. People need to be able to tap that intelligence at all times. And let's just face it, we as creators have a responsibility to our audience, because whether you think it or not, someone is looking at you as having expertise. This is not just a vlog or where you come to mind dump or, spill stupid ideas. That's what Facebook's for. But here, we have to make sure that we are putting great knowledge on display, and great knowledge needs to be accessible. So if you cannot be live and you cannot defend your body of knowledge, then chances are I'm not really dealing with you on that level. So now this one is for my particular niche, the credit card niche, the personal finance niche, whatever the hell you want to call it. Our community is way too small for people to repeat other people's ideas and research without properly crediting them. I have put out perspectives where I've told people, get your flowers and this and that, and whatever. But now I'm telling people, give people their proper flowers. I am a part of numerous discords and I see some great ideas floating around, and I see a lot of things that get repeated, and I've had conversations with people who are a little salty. Like, I spoke to this person, they made a video and they made no mention of me, as if for some reason they came up with these ideas out of whole cloth. I have seen people actually parrot other people's ideas. So I know you're asking yourself, well, Chad, when the Brian Jung incident happened with Chandler Vernon, you were championing the little guy. Yes, I was, and I still champion the little guy. But at the same time, there are going to always be issues with a very limited amount of information, and the excuse that, there's going to be some overlap because there are only so many credit cards. Yes, I get it, but still, in conversation, if someone finds a nugget, if someone finds a gem, for God's sakes, just say their name. For instance, when the Hilton cards made their first changes, as soon as I made what I would consider to be some pretty bad videos about it, because I was rushing and I didn't have any of the cards at the time. That's why I don't like to talk about cards that I don't have. I credited Sledge, who actually broke the news to me. And then I saw a bunch of videos that did not credit Sledge. That's just me just keeping it real. Shout out to the homie, Sledging Team. That's what it is. It doesn't take anything to credit somebody for their work. For instance, on one of my past videos, I credited Luke's Points and Miles because he reminded me that if you use Chase Ink Business Cash, you can rent a car and get primary CDW, but hopefully you are using it for business purposes, or else you probably won't be covered. You see how easy that was? We could have read that off the same pamphlet, but I didn't remember it, and he put it front of mine, so I gotta give him credit too. Shout out to Luke's Points and Miles. That's it. That's all it takes. That's literally all it takes. But no, you got people who pick out Discord ideas, who have private conversations, and they make these videos, and then they want all the credit, because remember, people are only allowed to watch one creator like ever, which is dumb. It's super stupid. It's a dumb idea. People can watch many people, and maybe you can suggest to one of your viewers someone else who may actually connect with them a little better. And trust me, the loyalty will still be there because you've pointed them in the right direction. So stop being jerks. Give people their credit. Stop acting like you came up with everything on your own, because that's stupid. It's the dumbest shit I ever heard of. So now for a YouTube perspective that is near and dear to my heart. I've actually mentioned this before on a live feed, but people tend to come to the live feeds just to see me mess up, and then other people come to spam and tell me to say hi to them or happy birthday, or whatever that new fad is, which is pretty damn dumb. Other than that, my core audience is there. Shout out to you guys. I love you and I respect you. But here it is. If you're an established channel, by established, I mean if you're at a point of monetization, in other words, you have a system in place. It doesn't have to be a huge team. It could be small, but you have an established system. You have an established audience. If you are not pulling someone up or pushing someone forward, you ain't shit. That's all there is to it. I don't care what your subscriber count is. I don't care how long you've been doing it. I don't care how lucky you've been. I don't care about your CPM, RPM, or whatever that other bullshit is in the analytics stuff. If you are a part of a community, but not a part of a community, you ain't shit. No one else is gonna tell you this, but I'll tell you, you ain't shit. That's all there is to it. Well, so it looks like I said 10, but I think I only said 9, so let's just come up with one. You know what? Stop watching so much YouTube. That shit rots your brain. Get out there and experience the world a little bit. I understand this is YouTube University, and as a creator, I would love for you to sit down and watch me be boring, all day long. That would be great for that fat $178 check I'm gonna get. That is wonderful. But honestly, go experience life. You'd be surprised, there actually still is a little bit left out there. It's not all in the metaverse, it's not all online. Now, I do love my YouTube community, I love my fellow creators, but hey, you guys, take a break too. I'm telling them to go outside. Maybe you guys can get up and go use the bathroom or something. But that is about it. Those are 10 perspectives for volume 10. Sorry, moms and dads, this one is not for the kids. I just had to get some things off my chest, and I wanted to be able to speak mano audienzo. Well, I don't know the Spanish word for audience, but I definitely want to speak to a bunch of adults about adult things in an adult fashion. So hopefully they let me monetize this so I can add to that juicy $178 check. And I guess I can do the pointy thing. Let's do the pointy thing, because I'm sure I probably referenced some videos here. I'll put cards for them too. And you guys can take it easy.